Chiefs kingdom. Something different is in the air. Could the Kansas City Chiefs have just faced their first big mystery of the season? A detail almost no one noticed could change the course of Patrick Mahomes' offense and perhaps even the future of our offensive line. Today, the conversation is serious. The topic is Josh Simmons, the rookie who had been impressing, and now he's the center of a mystery that's left even Andy Reid speechless. Welcome to another episode of Kansas City Chiefs News with me, Renan, the fan who lives every play like a movie. And at the end of the video, I want to know what's going on with Josh Simmons. First of all, subscribe to the channel, like it, and activate the bell, because here at Chiefs Kingdom, we live the behind the scenes and the game with the same passion. This is the Chief Report by Chat Sports, hosted by Jackson Dodds, who brought you complete information on the Simmons situation and what's coming up in Week 7. Josh Simmons had been one of the team's standout performers. Drafted in the first round of the 2025 draft, the left tackle with the 32nd overall pick, starting in the first 5 games, protecting Mahomes' blind side with the confidence of a veteran. The metrics confirm his impact. He earned the second highest pass blocking grade among all rookies in the league, according to PFF. Yes, we know PFF isn't always the law, but the eyes don't lie. With Simmons on the field, Mahomes seemed to have more time, more confidence, and the offensive line worked harmoniously. But everything changed just before the game against the Detroit Lions. About 5 hours before kickoff, Simmons was listed as questionable on the injury report. An hour later, the update came out of the game. The reason? Family situation. And since then, everything has been strange. Very strange. Insider Nate Taylor revealed on his podcast, Times Hours, Josh Simmons is dealing with a family situation. He left at an extremely unusual time. I'm not sure when he'll be back, and the team doesn't know either. The news came as a shock in Kansas City. The rookie, who had been strengthening the offensive line, simply disappeared from the team's plans, and no one knew when he would return. Jackson Dodds reacted with the frankness of a concerned fan. This isn't good. Our rookie is a key piece to our offensive success. And he's right. Without Simmons, the structure that protects the league's most talented quarterback is compromised. But there's something more important: respect for privacy. Dodds made a point of emphasizing that no one owns the details of Josh's personal life. He warned against the irresponsible speculation that began to spread online, including theories about behavior or foul play. We're not going to do that. It's not fair to the player. And he's right. The case requires care, empathy, and patience. Even so, the team's handling of the matter drew attention. A few weeks ago, Chris Jones also had to take a personal leave of absence for a family member's funeral. At the time, there was complete transparency. The team clearly communicated that the player was in Mississippi, received support from the franchise, and returned in time for the game. Now, with Simmons all is quiet, Andy Reid was asked about the matter and replied, "It's a family situation. Brett Veach, the general manager, not the coach, is taking charge of the situation. And that, Chiefs Kingdom, changes everything." When the matter passes from the coach's hands to the GMs, the only thing that comes to mind is a simple roster move, not necessarily a release, but possibly a transfer to the NFI list, non-football injury list, which would mean a minimum absence of 4 games. Dodds knew, let's not speculate too much, but this isn't the usual way to handle a personnel matter. What makes fans uneasy is the lack of information, the silence that seems to spread. And while everyone waits for an update, the field continues to spin. Simmons' replacement, Wanya Morris, took over and didn't disappoint. Against the Lions, facing the feared Aiden Hutchinson, Morris played 40 snaps, allowed 3 pressures, 2 sacks, and only 1 hit on Mahomes. Respectable numbers against one of the NFL's best edge rushers. He held his own, gave Patrick time, and helped the offense beat one of the conference's strongest teams. Amidst the chaos, the backup became a quiet hero. It was in this climate that Dodds took a break from the heavy news to thank sponsor Omaha Steaks. You know what quality like Wanya Morris is? Omaha Steaks. He joked, saying that recently, as a newly engaged man, he had to learn how to cook. One such day, he saved dinner with brands, which are now on an early Black Friday sale, 50% off online, plus an extra $35 off with the code Chiefs. A slight breather amidst the tension, but one that reinforces the importance of supporting the show and, of course, of having top-notch meat while waiting for answers about Josh Simmons. But the NFL doesn't stop, and Week 7 is just around the corner. The Chiefs and Raiders face off in the first noon game of the season. Who do you have in this game? Dodds tease. Go with KC if you trust the Chiefs. LV if you think the Raiders will surprise. And looking the other way, the outlook in Las Vegas isn't very encouraging. The team is 2-4 with Pete Carroll taking over after years in Seattle and Geno Smith leading the offense. But Geno Smith isn't the same as he was in his prime with the Seahawks. Constant turnovers, poor decisions, and an offensive average of just 17 points per game, 29th in the league. The defense isn't doing much better, 23rd in points allowed with 24 per game. I'm not a mathematician, Dodds quipped, but if you score 17 and give up 24, you're not going to win many games. Still, it's a divisional duel, and every fan knows a rivalry like this isn't to be underestimated. Raiders versus Chiefs is an emotional battle. Still, something curious happened this week. Insider Ricky Scoops, yes, the famous NFL leaker, published that wide receiver Jacoby Myers was being traded and would no longer play for the Raiders. Shortly after, he appeared on the DNP practice absence list with a knee and toe injury. Coincidence? Perhaps not. And without him, the Vegas offense loses one of its top targets. Myers has over 300 yards in 6 games, and his absence, whether due to injury or a trade, completely changes the game plan. Dodds then made a direct comparison between the rosters. At the helm, there's no doubt, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Kansas City has a clear advantage in the running game. He gives the Raiders the lead with Ashton Jenney showing quality, even behind a weak offensive line. At receiver, the Chiefs have the edge. The group is more cohesive and productive. At tight end, Dodds is honest. Travis Kelce remains elite, but rookie Brock Bowers, on the other hand, is in spectacular form and deserves respect. On the offensive line, even without Simmons, Kansas City is superior to Vegas's disjointed unit. On the defensive line, the Raiders deserve credit for Max Crosby, a single-handed game changer, but the rest of the defense is all red and gold. Drew Tranquillo, Leo Kino, and Nick Bolton lead the linebackers with intensity. In the secondary, Trent MC Duffy, who is having a breakout season, and the safeties, who easily outperform the Raiders, stand out. In total, Kansas City leads in 7 of the 9 comparisons, and the score prediction is confident. Chiefs 35, Raiders 21. A solid victory, a 2-touchdown difference, and a reminder to the entire AFC West. The throne is still ours. Dodds concludes with emotion. Now it's time to wait for Josh Simmons. Support the team and keep going together. If you believe in this victory, comment. Go Chiefs. Like and subscribe. Because this journey, game by game, we live side by side, from mystery to glory. And with that, Kansas City Chiefs News closes another episode with emotion, information, and hearts beating for the red and gold.